This week's been a struggle. The group, we're not molding together. It's like we're fighting all the time. Food, low. We're never gonna get this raft built, and if it's not for that dadgum freaking Chad, my vote, Chad.
Everybody just keeps getting on my nerves. I'm just trying to have some fun, like, get everybody relaxed some, but Mike's always over there, we don't have enough food. Well, you go get some. The rest of us are trying to look for some brews and stuff. Get rid of that dude. He's annoying.
I got 3 daughters at home, and you always want the best for your family and especially for your daughters. And if one of my daughters brought Chad home, man, he'd never make it. Nothing. I'll be sitting there cleaning my gun, and he'd never make it. Nope, not having my girls date Chad. Chad, gotta go, buddy. Gotta go.
Man, I gotta be honest with y'all. Everybody has it out for Chad just because we like to play football and stuff. Go Pack Go. Especially the doctor. I mean, he just thinks all about the raft. So, I think he's gotta go. I'm voting Dr. Gray.
Yeah, so I don't know why I'm here, and I'm just kind of ready to go, and I hope everybody follows suit. I'm gonna vote for me. I'm gonna vote for me.
Chad.
Dude,
Huh?
I didn't think we were being serious.
That's
Disgusting.
Well, bye, Chad. This week's review: who should we eat?
Alright guys, let's go over the setup and how to play the game. So first, you're going to want to put these 3 boards in the middle of the table so everyone has access to them. Place the food marker on however many players you have, minus 1. So for this example, we'll use 4 players. So we'll start at 3. Sanity always goes at 8, and it's even marked differently, so that way you can always know where it starts. Then, your raft that you need to escape will be determined by how many players. So in this instance, we start on 13. Your work will always start at 0. Now, we need to add our food, build, and sanity cards after we shuffle them to their boards over the draw. Next, each player needs to receive a character card and a personality card. These will let you know how much they draw each round and how much they're worth, plus a specific trait that changes how each character plays and benefits and negatives that each of them bring. Once this is done, make sure you shuffle the rest of your decks and take the top 3 of your quest deck, and you're going to place them in the box. Then you will take the next 3 and actually place them on the table. Now, keep your straws handy. Finally, the conch goes to whoever ate last, and that person will be the leader. So now, how do we play a turn? This game is played in phases, and we will start off with the morning phase. During this phase, if it's past the first round, we will pass the conch to the next player. The dead will now rise if anybody has died in the past, and we will all draw cards, again, based on these numbers. So for this character, they draw 3 from the sanity deck and 1 from the food deck. You will also pick up your keep card if you have one from a previous round. If your character happens to have a question mark down here, that card will be any that you so choose. You will also need to select a card that you want to play and a card that you want to keep. So you place the card you want to play above your character and the card you want to keep below your character. These cards will also have different effects based on the top and bottom. So for example, this one is played at the top of your character card At the time it is played, you will gain 1 build. However, if it's put as a keep card and you use it as a keep, nothing will happen, as indicated by the line. The next phase is the afternoon phase. During this phase, each player will resolve their cards one at a time. Ghost players resolve their play cards first. And again, you always go clockwise from the leader, or who has the conch, with the ghost. Once the ghosts have gone, then you will resolve the quest. Once that happens, you will then go through the rest of the players' turns. To explain how quests are resolved, the leader selects a quest from the ones face up on the board. The top half of the card is applied immediately by altering the trackers as indicated, such as with this one, you will gain 2 sanity. However, all survivors must then draw straws, which you can use these, or the cards of straws that you can shuffle and pass out. And whoever draws the short straw takes the quest and puts it underneath their character. These will have negative effects that affect your character. The third phase is the evening phase. At this point, you will reduce the sanity track by 2. If the track ever hits 0, the survivors lose and the ghosts win. Then you will reduce the food tracker by the number of players. And finally, the food is below 0, like it is indicated here, the trial phase must start. During the trial phase, the leader will gather everyone's attention. During this time, you will state how the trial should be handled. You can say everyone can speak at their own time, or you can decide everyone goes one at a time. For fun, you can even say we will go counterclockwise in our arguments, saying they can only give positive reasons of why they should be kept, and then defenses later of why somebody was wrong. However you choose. Then you will follow through that, and other players may not speak during this stage of the trial. Once you set the rules, you proceed with them. During this part of the phase is when a knife card may be played. If a knife card is played, you can target a player that you would like to knife and kill them rather than having to go through the discussion phase. With this, you can also play a shield to make sure you cannot be targeted. And once one knife is shown, another player may draw a knife as well. Once the discussion and the knife fights are resolved, the discussions have come to a close, you may vote for who you want to kill off and eat. And the leader will decide or count down, and then when they're done, everyone will point for a specific survivor. The survivor with the most votes will be killed and eaten. In this situation, he will go up by this number indicated on their card. If at the end of this trial, the track still is below 0, you must hold another trial. Finally, we will move on to the salvation phase. During this phase, if there was no trial this round, and the build is higher than the RAF, your sanity is above 0, and your food is above 0, the next morning you are able to depart and leave the island. The last thing I would like to point out about this game is on the back of the rules is a quick order of play. This is very handy on remembering the rules, as there are a lot of them and phases are specific in what order the game is played. So I advise, if it's your first time or even your 30th time, you keep this with you, possibly pass it along with the conch to help keep the game flowing in a good manner. So now that we have a basic understanding of how to set the game and the rules, let's move on to the review.
All right, Craig, let's get to that review. Let's start with the artwork.
All right, so let's define artwork first. We're talking about the art that comes in the total product. So we're looking at the box, the board, and the cards. And in this one, they went with a very cartoon design, which I really enjoy. It was a choice that they decided to have, and I appreciate that the characters, such as the comedian, he's also in the heavy lifting card. So they took that and redesigned how he would look in a scenario. And so I really enjoy that, and that's why I'm going to give them a 7.
Yeah, I was close with you. I went with a 6. And that was because I thought it was pretty simplistic. I thought they could have done a little bit more on each individual from the player deck cards. Not necessarily what am I trying to say? Not the character cards, not the actual ones that you're given to each player, but the ones where you draw from the draw pile. There you go, the draw pile. Those cards are just kind of plain. They're simplistic. Other than just like the tribal drawings on them, just the kind of the wiry, tribal tattoo looking type things. But it was pretty simplistic to me. I thought they could have gone a little bit more, but it's still worthy. I like the cartoonish, the kind of Islander feel. Alright, so with components, what we're looking for are any type of player miniature, any of the hard pieces that come into the game. And I always exclude the actual cards, if there are any cards that come with the game. But we can talk about any type of figurines, any type of hard piece. That's what we're talking about. Tokens included. So, Craig, let's start out with you. How do you feel about the components?
So there aren't that many for this game. You have your trackers, you have the conch, which we'd like here, and we also have the straws for it. That normally makes me want to take away from a game, having very little components, and they're not the best design, although it is fun banging the conch on the table. But I really like the straws. The fact that they designed them for you to actually pull the short straw is really cool in my opinion. So for that reason, I gave them a 7.
Yeah, I wasn't that big on the components. I know, Craig, you said you really like the straws. I'm kind of against them. They're kind of just awkward to handle, and especially when you have a lot of people in this game. There's a lot of straws, and they get fumbled, and you worry about getting them all even on the end, and they just kind of fall. So it's not that it's a. I see where they're going. I see they're going. I really like how they try to get it more interactive, but they also give you the cards with it, which I think this probably was a complaint from earlier reviews. That anyway, I thought they were cool, but see where they're going. The conch is really cool, but there's not really any designs with them, and for that reason, I gave them a number of 6. Alright, Craig, let's move on to the thematics.
Alright, so the thematics, what we're looking at is the theming of the game. How much do you relate with the characters? How immersed do you get into it? And for this one, I'm very pulled into the game. I like the fact that we're all working together to begin with. All of us still have our own specific skills that make us good at what we do. But then at some point in time, and kind of a little bit at the beginning as well, you're always thinking in the back of your head, how do I make sure everyone knows my worth? And who is pulling us down? And so I really enjoy that fact of you're helping each other, but you're also already trying to make an argument in your head of who to put down. And so for that, I'm going to give them an 8.
Yeah, I think we did not agree on this one. I'm going to give it a rating of 5. I'm usually a cooperative-based fan. This one's a little different to me. It was hard for me to get immersed into it, and maybe it was because the player turns took so long. It seemed like it took forever for it to get back around the table to my turn. It was just, it was clunky. Yeah, good game. I see where they were going with this. It's a very basic cooperative game. I feel like there wasn't a whole lot into it, but it did its purpose. I think early on cooperative games, this is some place to start somebody out on. Like if they're brand new to the cooperative style of board games, this is a good one. But to me, it didn't captivate me as well as some of the other ones that we've reviewed.
Fair. So let's go to the overall. Are you going to buy this game, pass on it? What's your full opinion?
I'm just playing it when you play it. To be fair, I think I'm not gonna go and buy it, but I recommend it. It's a good game. I don't mean to be so harsh on it. Maybe my rankings are a little bad, but I think overall everybody should at least play this once and give it a try. Don't turn away from the game just because I said no. I'm a special case.
I do think it's great that we both disagree, so people get two different perspectives on it. And I really enjoy it. Like I said, you're always in the two mindsets of, I want to help, but I also have to hurt. And to me, that's really fun. And I think it does excel with the bigger group.
For sure.
And so if you're going to have a group, if you're going to go and play at a lake house that you're just, you can toss the rest of the world to the side, I think that's where this game excels, where you're just playing because you just want to relax.
Yeah, the strategy there is not for me. I mean, it seems very simple. I'm going to play a card and increase the sanity 2 spaces. Yeah, I'd like to think like a turn, maybe 2 turns ahead, and really try to get into this game and figure out the right strategy. I just felt like I was like, well, let's just, and maybe it was because the people we played with too, because we played in a big group, and you know,
and not a lot of them are like avid board gamers like we are.
And especially like when it came time for all of us to sit around the table and vote, do we eat or do we not eat them? I felt like our players didn't, or our people didn't really do that great of a job of defending themselves and why they should stay in the game. It was just like, well, if that's what you guys decide, then okay, eat me. And maybe it rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, and maybe with a different group, it would increase the fun value of this for you. And that's something you need to keep in mind on almost any game. The group you play with has just as big of an influence as the game itself. So, I mean, me personally, for its overall, I am going to give this one an 8.
Yeah, I got to go with 6.
It's fair. So, thanks everybody. We'd like for you to like the video, comment, and subscribe. Again, I always try to go through and pin a different comment that I think is very either funny or great adds to our conversation, and we'll always be down there trying to reply. So we'll see y'all next time.